in that booth. Give me a tick, and I'll get you out of there. Moira, can you hear me in there, darling?
So dark in here. If only your friend could look up and see. Maybe... If only you could do something, anything. Except just stand here and watch him die.
Splicers! They're everywhere! I can't hold them! Got to fall back! Get me family out and we'll regroup as soon as we can!
Okay, so what you saw right there was one of the reasons why I'm enjoying BioShock as much as I am, because its storyline is completely completely engaging, and I love that about this game. I haven't played a game where I gave a shit about the story in a long time. So again, I'm thoroughly enjoying this game right now. So based on the feedback that I got on the video before, there were a lot of people that enjoyed the fact that I was posting a video from another game besides Call of Duty, and so I decided today I'm gonna try something different with a commentary, and just kind of post it to the backdrop of BioShock in the background. There's gonna be a lot of parts that don't have a lot of action, but those of you that are interested in the game can see that there's a lot of exploring and a lot of really cool things about this little world that Ken Levine and the guys at 2K Boston, I believe, have made for us with this game. But today I want to talk about a couple things that have nothing to do with video games. And I was sort of inspired by Scoreboard's video that he posted a couple weeks ago, when he very candidly states that from time to time he feels like he has a video game addiction that interferes with his life, and it's caused him to be disappointed with certain facets of his life at this point. And I was truly shocked and inspired and impressed by the level of honesty that I saw in that video. And he hit on a topic that I think is relevant to all of us that play video games, which is addiction, and trying to balance out video game, which has really strong appeal for a lot of us that play them. Trying to balance that out with other things in everybody's life that should be considered important, things like family and friends and stuff like that. And on the topic of addiction, I'm actually going to digress for a second here. Stepping back a little bit, I posted a video a few weeks back of me and Julia playing Halo 3 and talking about threesomes and stuff like that. And this guy commented on the video saying that he was unsubscribing because he felt that, well, he said something kind of short, and I misinterpreted at the time, and I had some kind of snappy comeback like, "You won't be missed, bye-bye." And then he came back and he either wrote it as a comment or he sent me a personal message explaining his reason, which was the fact that there are a lot of kids that watch the channel, and to him he thought it was inappropriate that I was posting a video with content like that. And at first I was a little defensive about it, and then I thought about it and I thought, well, he's right. He made the example that he subscribed to the channel, and he wouldn't want his children watching a video like that. And first of all, I want to say that when I posted that video, it wasn't to brag about my sex life with my girlfriend that I've been with for 2.5 years now. It was just because her and I are really playful, and we're both really open about that kind of stuff, and we thought it would make for an interesting commentary. But he kind of got me thinking that about the fact that even though there are a lot of adults that subscribe to this channel, a lot of adults, I'm really surprised, actually. I get messages all the time from people that are married and have kids, and it's kind of refreshing, actually, to get messages from people like that. But there are a lot of kids that watch the channel too, and he he kind of made the point that whether I like it or not, I'm in a position of kind of a role model. You know, a lot of people look up to somebody that's good at a video game, and so I decided for this commentary I'd try something different, going back to how I originally started this out, which is I want to talk about something called I want to talk about something that Scoreboard hit on with that video, and I'll post a link to that video in an annotation probably at this point, or in the description of the video if you guys want to check it out. But I decided that I would try and be a role model, if you will, to maybe the youngsters out there, maybe the teenagers out there, maybe the people in their mid-20s like me, and talk a little bit about addiction and my experience with it. I am actually a drug addict, and I think a lot of you get, you know, saying a comment like that might be a little off-putting to some people, and maybe you don't understand. I should clarify and say that I'm a clean drug addict. I haven't picked up anything or used anything in about 5.5 years now. But between the ages of 17 and 19, I was heavily into substance abuse. I was getting loaded every night by myself. Towards the end of it, I was completely isolated. Where am I going with this? Okay, so basically what happened was at the age of 20, about 2 months shy of my 21st birthday, which is kind of an ironic milestone in a lot of people's lives in the United States here, where our legal drinking age is 21. At the age of 20, I ended up in a rehabilitation center, a 28-day program. My parents had, you know, they basically took me to a tour of the facility, and I went down and played basketball with an OxyContin addict named Brandon. I wonder how he's doing. When I came back, they said, by the way, you're staying. We're just going to go pick up your stuff and drop it back off. And that was the best possible thing that they could have done for me. So I ended up in a 28-day program, and at the end of it, my counselor in there suggested that I go to what's called a halfway house, or a sober living environment, which is basically a house of people that are recovering from some kind of addiction. And I lived there for about 6 months when I got a phone call from my dad one day saying, we're no longer going to pay your rent starting next month. You need to start making it on your own. And that terrified the shit out of me, but somehow I made it happen. I got a promotion at my job, and I started making more money. And from that point on, I learned how to support myself. So where am I going with this? Where I'm going is if you ever feel like, and this goes for everybody, I mean, I'm sure there's, you know, kids actually start using at very young ages these days. I'm pretty baffled. I didn't start until I was about 14 or 15, but I guess that's pretty young too. But if you ever find yourself in a position where you feel like you have an addiction towards something, whether it be gaming, whether it be alcohol or other substances, and gambling, the point where I'm going with this is that there absolutely is a way out of that, and many people know exactly how you're feeling right now. I'll tell you, when it was bad for me, I was literally crying myself to sleep night after night, and I avoided human contact as much as humanly possible because I was so uncomfortable that I would physically shake when a stranger would come up and talk to me. Even when got to a point, even when my family would come up and talk to me, I was so overwhelmed with fear that I could literally feel my body shaking. Which brings me to commentary for a second. A lot of people ask me, how do you do commentary so well, or why are you so comfortable? When I got out of rehab and I started doing the clean life, I ended up going to what are called Narcotics Anonymous meetings, and I'm sure a lot of you guys are familiar with that. Maybe some of you have personal experience, maybe some of your parents go or something like that. But I've spoken at many meetings about my experience. And there's been a couple meetings where I've spoke at where there's been 100, 200, 300 people there, and I got up and spoke for 30 minutes about my story. So as it turns out, I'm actually quite comfortable with public speaking, which is pretty ironic coming from where I came from at the worst of my own drug addiction. So how does this relate to video games? If you're finding yourself at a point where you're no longer having fun playing video games, where you're avoiding hanging out with your friends, where you basically don't have any kind of social life whatsoever as a result of how much you play video games, you might want to take a look at that, because the quality of your life will improve if you address certain addictions that can come up for a lot of us. I wish I had more time to talk about it, because I do have, you know, volumes of stories to tell, but I don't. The video's got to end here in about 10 seconds. So if you have any experience with this, or if you have any questions or anything like that, go ahead and post a comment below, and I'm sure myself or anybody else with experience on the subject can answer you. Hope you guys enjoy the commentary. Let me know what you think. Bye.